Donald Trump's mental state is not well, and that couldn't have been clearer in what just happened moments ago when he was being interviewed by reporters, and he's seriously lashed out at one for bringing up Epstein. So this thing is definitely bothering him. And Donald Trump was also asked about Gaza, and if you don't know, there is truly a famine happening in Gaza where people are dying of hunger, the majority of whom are children. And that's because Israel has prevented them from getting food, from going into Gaza. They control it. This has been reported on. Now, Donald Trump was asked about this, about starving kids in Gaza. And here's what he had to say.
When you were in the Middle East, you talked about the images coming out of Gaza and the starving kids. Those images are still going. Many of them are much worse. Thinner children, starving. What do you see or feel when you look at those images today?
Well, it's terrible. You know, when I see the children, and when I see, especially over the last couple of weeks, and people are stealing the food, they're stealing the money for the food, they're stealing weapons, they're stealing everything. It's a mess. That whole place is a mess. The Gaza Strip, was given many years ago so that they could have peace. That didn't work out too well. When Israel gave that up, whoever was the prime minister at the time, who I know who it was, but it was not exactly a very clever thing to do, because that was given so that they finally have peace, and it's actually made the situation worse. But we'll see what happens. I think Iran is acting up. I think that we have a lot of people we have Venezuela acting up in a different way. They continue to send people that we rebuff to our border. They continue to send drugs into our country. Venezuela, they've been very nasty, and we can't let that happen. But we have other countries too. We do have, and this is just getting a little off subject, but we have now the safest border we've ever had. And I think in many respects we probably have the most successful, and I say it all the time, every leader, when I went to...
He's talking about himself. He's asked about starving kids in Gaza, and he's just talking about himself. But the most appalling part of this is coming up.
Should Israel be doing more to allow food into Gaza?
Say it.
Should Israel be doing more to allow food into Gaza?
What did you say?
Should Israel be doing more to allow food into Gaza?
Well, we gave $60 million 2 weeks ago, and nobody even acknowledged it, for food. And it's terrible. You really at least want to have somebody say thank you. No other country gave anything. We gave $60 million 2 weeks ago for food for Gaza. And nobody acknowledged it. Nobody talks about it. And it makes you feel a little bad when you do that, and, you have other countries not giving anything. None of the European countries, by the way, gave. Nobody gave but us. And nobody said, gee, thank you very much. And it would be nice to have at least a thank you. And I took a lot of heat. When I do that, a lot of people aren't happy about that, because they say, well, why are we doing it and nobody else? But I think we had a humanitarian reason for doing it. What's going to happen? I don't know. I can tell you that Hamas, as I said, would happen at the end. We've gotten back a lot of hostages, a tremendous number of hostages, most of them. Now we have dead hostages, and the mothers want them back, and we have 20.
Yeah, so he says, you really at least want to have somebody to say thank you. There are children dying in Gaza, and Donald Trump's response is, they never even said thank you. What a piece of... And I think we can all agree, wherever you are on the spectrum of this thing, that children dying of hunger should not be happening, regardless of what you believe. And I think that's something that should unite all of us, that no one should be dying from hunger, especially children. It's appalling. Now I'm going to switch moods here for a second, because Donald Trump was asked about Epstein, where he said this.
On August 1st and beyond. Okay?
Mr. President, was part of the rush to get this deal done to knock the Jeffrey Epstein story out?
Oh, you got to be kidding with that. No, had nothing to do with it. Only you would think that.
I don't know about that. Donald Trump announced a deal with the EU, and it is very coincidental that he's doing that, as we have folks who are speaking out now, and we have a victim of Ghislaine Maxwell who is letting us know who she is. And as we all know, Donald Trump is considering pardoning her. But here's what a victim of Ghislaine Maxwell says about her.
She is a monster. She's worse than Epstein. She did things even worse than Epstein did. She was vicious, she was evil, and she was a woman.
Her lawyers have said Ghislaine Maxwell is not a Jeffrey Epstein, that she has been a victim of media spin.
They're doing their job, but I know that woman. I've known her really well. Put it this way. Epstein was Pinocchio, and she was Geppetto. She was the guy controlling
the strings.
Jeffrey. Yep, she was pulling the strings. She had his money. He had her contacts. But Ghislaine was much more conniving and smart than Epstein ever was.
Yeah, so Donald Trump and the right are going to try to turn Ghislaine Maxwell into some sort of martyr or a victim, and she's none of those things. She's just as guilty as Jeffrey Epstein for the rape of these children. And that's what it is, rape of children. Now, Donald Trump was also caught cheating playing golf. You're seeing him throw the ball there, right? Now, Donald Trump was also asked about that because they asked, why are you in a bad mood? Because of the golf?
Can I ask why you're in a bad mood? Was it a bad morning of golf, or why you're not in a good mood?
No, the golf was beautiful. Golf can never be bad, even if you play badly. It's still good. If you had a bad day on the golf course, it's okay. It's better than other days. But no, I think I look forward to this meeting. You know, we've had a hard time.
God bless these reporters. These are real reporters, by the way. You can see the difference between these European reporters versus the ones that we have here in America, and the way that they're very direct and they ask him questions that he doesn't want to hear. We just don't get that anymore. And it's nice to at least have it a little bit. And then Donald Trump forgot who the prime minister was.
It's a mess. That whole place is a mess. The Gaza Strip, was given many years ago so that they could have peace. That didn't work out too well. When Israel gave that up, whoever was the prime minister at the time, who I know who it was.
Whoever the prime minister was, who I know who it was. What? How is this our president? He's clearly like self-destructing before our very eyes. And I want to just show you this too, because CNN dropped a supercut of Pam Bondi saying that she's going to release the files, and now, of course, they're not.
What you're going to see, hopefully tomorrow, is a lot of flight logs, a lot of names.
Everything's going to come out to the public. The public has a right to know. Americans have a right to know.
There are tens of thousands of videos of Epstein with children.
Yep, never came out, did it? Never came out. Now, I'm going to end with this. Mehdi Hasan was on Sam Seder's Majority Report, and here is what he had to say about the way the media has been covering this issue. And I will see you next time. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please hit like in the video. If you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing, and I'll see you next time.
Thing has taken on a life of its own. It is the first scandal. I've been following Donald Trump for 10 years, and this is the first scandal that I know of that has been led by his own supporters, right? It has nothing to do with liberals or leftists. In fact, the Democrats have been AWOL and continue to be AWOL because, of course, Bill Clinton's name is somewhere in all of these Epstein-related files. He went on the plane 27 times. Who knows which other Democrats are linked in. But I tweeted this yesterday, which is when the story came out in the New York Times about this birthday book tribute, then the story came out in the Wall Street Journal about the cartoon, and CNN did the story about Epstein being at the wedding, at one of Trump's weddings. My question is, where the F was all this reporting in 2016, 2020, 2024? The American public went to the polls 3 times and elected Donald Trump 2 out of 3 times without knowing any of this stuff. So it's a complete media failure, number one. And number two, a complete failure by the Democrats. No Oppo research, or if they had it, they sat on it because they knew their own figures would get burned by this stuff as well. And I think it's a real problem now if they allow Trump to change the narrative. We know what's going on. Keith Edwards tweeted just earlier today, the Democratic Party influence, and I totally agree with his analysis. We know what's going to happen now is that Ghislaine Maxwell will almost certainly come out and give some Democratic Party names, a Bill Clinton, some billionaires, and Trump will pardon her and say she told the truth, she exposed this ring, and he will be scot-free. Even though we know now that he took, I think, 1,000 DOJ, FBI, other internal agents to scour through the records and look for one thing, his name, right? They were tasked with finding Donald Trump's name in the files, these files that supposedly don't exist and can't be released, but were written by John Brennan and Barack Obama. So we're looking at possibly the biggest cover-up in modern American history, which will make Watergate look like a walk in the park.